Hello, it's Gem Games here once again, and in this video we're going to start creating the interaction system. So you can see when I get closer to this and when I look at it, we will see this little dot on the screen. And as you can see, when we go off from it, it will fade away. So this will tell us that the object is interactable. So yeah, let's get started. So first you want to go to the link in the description that takes you to my Google Drive and you want to download this .1.png image. After that you want to go to the textures folder and you want to import that .1.png. Now let's open the .1.png, and what we want to do here, we want to change this compression setting to user interface 2D and also texture group to UI. Simple as that. Let's save, let's close. Now we want to go to the blueprints and we want to create a new folder. Let's call this HUD. Okay, let's open it. And now we want to create a new blueprint class type widget user widget. Okay, let's select that. Let's call this W underscore player underscore HUD or something like that. Actually, I want to make it HUD capital like that. Now let's open it. And here, what we want to do, we want to first get, of course, a canvas panel like this. And now we want to add an image. Let's move it to here. Now let's anchor it to the middle. Let's set the alignment 0.5 and Y alignment also 0.5. Now let's set the position X to 0 and position Y to 0. Now we can set the size to, let's set it to 20 by 20. We can adjust it later. And now let's open the brush. And now we want to select the image, which will be the .1, of course. Now when we go closer, we can see it here. It looks weird, but in the game it will look better. Okay? And now, one thing that I actually want to do straight away is, now it's the size of this image. The image is 20 by 20, so we can set it to like 10 by 10. I think that size is better. So what we want to do next, we want to rename this image to be interact dot. And let's check that the is variable is true. And now let's add an animation. This first animation will be called show dot anim. Let's click on that. Let's click on interact dot. Let's add animation. Sorry, not like that. Let's select the animation. Let's add a track interact dot. Now let's add a render opacity, and we want to set it to 0 here on the 0 mark, and on 0.25 we want to set it to like 0.8. Okay. And now we can just duplicate this animation and let's call it height.anim. Okay, let's double click that. And now here in the 0 mark, we want to set it to 0.8. And here at the end on the 0.25, let's set it to 0. Okay, and now when we click off the animation and we select only the interact dot, we can set, actually it is already Now that we have no animation selected and we select the interact dot, we can set the render opacity to 0. Like that. Now let's compile and save and let's go to the graph. And what we want to do here on graph, let's delete all these, we don't need them. And let's create a custom event. This will be called show height dot, something like that. And what we want to do here, we want to add an input, and this input will be called show. and it will be type boolean. And let's add a branch, so B and left click, and let's check this boolean. So we can use the same event to show or hide the dot. Now let's add a sequence, so S and left click, and also sequence to here, connect the true to here and false to here, like this. Actually, let's put this a little bit further down, something like that. Next, what we want to do, we want to get a do once node here. Let's copy it also to here, connect them from 10, 0 on both. Okay, and why do we want to do it? Because we want to now, from the 10, 1, we want to reset this one, and from here we want to reset this one. So we can only play show dot after we have made it hidden. So we cannot play 2 times the same. And also what we want to do here, because we want to start closed like that. Okay. What we want to do next from here, we want to get our show.anim, and we want to play animation from completed like that. And now let's get our hide.anim, and let's play that animation from completed. Simple as that. And now let's actually move this a little bit further down like that. So now when we show the dot, we will check here, we will do once, and we will play the show dot animation. And when we hide it, we will check from here, and we will reset the. Actually, we will first play the hide.anim, and then we will reset this one so it can play the next time. And so we can play this, but never 2 times in a row the same. Okay, now it will work correctly. Let's compile, save, and now we can close this W player HUD. Now let's go to the blueprints and let's go to the PP player character. And here what we want to do, let's go to the event begin play. Here we want to create widget, and we want to create that player HUD, W player HUD widget. And from the return value, we want to promote to a variable, and this will be called HUD ref. Now let's add a category which will be called not HUD, sorry, ref. Okay, and now from the HUD ref we want to add to viewport so we can actually see it on the screen. Okay, now when we compile and save, now what we want to do, we want to create a new function, and this function will be called interaction trace. Now let's also create a category here which will be called interaction. Okay, and now here on the interaction trace we want to first add a sequence like this. Now from the 10, 0 we want to just go here, leave some space, and we want to line trace by channel like that. Now here what we want to do, we want to get our first person camera, and we want to get world location, and then we want to connect this to the start. Let's add a reroute to here, and actually let's move this further a little bit like this, I think. Now from here we want to add to this and connect this to the end and align this. And now what we want to add to it is we want to get from the first person camera, and we want to get forward vector sorry about that, I am still a little bit sick. Now, from the forward vector, we want to multiply this, connect it here. And what we want to multiply it with, we want to convert this pin to the float. And then we want to promote this to a variable. This variable will be called interaction trace. Sorry. Interaction range, I mean. So this will be the amount that we can be, like the distance to the object that we want to interact with. Now let's move it here. Let's align this with Q. Now this range, we want to set it to like, I think 100 will be good. You can adjust it later. Compile and save. So now what we have done here, we have started to trace from our first-person camera's location, and we will end it to, so we're getting the forward vector of the camera, and we are adding 100 units to it, and we are adding it to the location. So we are getting 100 units in front of our camera. That's our end. And we can now get this closer. Okay? And what we want to do next is we want to get the out hit, and we want to break hit result here. Let's open it. And now from the hit actor, we want to promote it to a variable. And this hit actor will be actually called interaction hit actor ref or whatever. Now we can also put all these on the category. So interaction range, let's call this interaction. And also the interaction hit actor ref, let's put it to the interaction. Okay, and now from here, what we have to do. Sorry, what was I saying? I had some alarm going on my phone. So what we have to do next is we want to get from the interaction hit actor ref, and we want to check if it does implement interface like this. And now we actually have to create the interface because we don't have it yet. So let's compile, let's save all, and let's go to third-person map. Let's create a new folder here, which will be called interfaces. Okay, let's open it. And now here we want to right click and we want to go to the blueprints, and here blueprint interface. Let's create one and let's call this interactable. Simple as that. Let's open it. And we want to, it actually creates a new function as default, so you don't have to actually create the first one. Let's call this can interact. Okay, and here we want to add an output, and this output will be called, we can call it result or can interact or whatever. It just tells if the object is interactable basically. Compile. Now let's add another function, and this function will be just called interact. Nothing else. This will be the function that we will call if we are actually interacting with it. So let's compile, save, and we can close this. Now here on the BP player character, we want to check if it implements interface, and now we want to search for interactable. Simple as that. And now we want to add a branch, so B and left click. I don't know why I always tell the like the B and left click and S and left click and those, because I think everybody knows them, but yeah. Let's continue. So if it doesn't implement interface, then what we want to do, we want to create a new variable, and this will be called can interact, and it will be type boolean, and we want to set it to the interaction folder or the category. Here on the false, we want to set it to false, of course, like this. And on the true, we want to get the interaction hit actor ref, and we want to check if can interact message like this. And now we want to set the can interact here by this result. And why do we do it this way? So if the object that we're trying to interact with doesn't implement this interactable interface, then we will set the can interact to false, so we cannot interact. But if it does, we will check if it's currently interactable. So because if we create a door, for example, and when we can open it, it will be interactable. But when it's, for example, opening, we will set it to false. So we cannot spam it, like, you know, and when it has finished opening, then we might turn it back to interactable, if you understand what I mean now. So that's the reason why we have like these two things here, checking basically the same thing, which they are actually not doing, but it sounds that they are doing the same thing. But yeah, okay. Simple as that. And now we want to go here to the start. Here we want to get the href, and we want to show hide dot from the 10.1. So after all the code has run through, we want to call this function, okay, like this. And here we want to get this can interact variable, and we want to show if we can interact and not show if we cannot interact. Okay, compile and save. And now we want to go to the event graph, and we want to get our event tick, which is actually here. So what I want to do here, I want to move all this code. Actually, I will move all this to here. More. All this under the begin play, I will select and move it downwards like this. Now stamina fill delay. Okay, let's get these things, get them closer, and let's put the event tick here under the begin play. I think it's pretty good there. And also this stamina fill delay, let's put it to maybe here. Okay, we will later on make this all look a lot better. It's not looking bad yet, but when we create more functions and stuff like that, it will start to look bad. So we will create an episode where we organize things and so on. Here on the event tick, what we want to do, we want to get this interaction trace, because we have to call it on every tick, so we can actually see if we can interact with something. Okay, simple as that. Compile and save. But now let's go to third-person map and to the blueprints. Let's create yet another folder, which will be called interactable. Let's open it. Let's create a new blueprint class, actor, and let's call this test interactable. Now let's open it, and let's just add a cube, for example. It doesn't matter what we add here. Let's set some another color to it, so we can see it better working. Solid blue, that's good. And now on the class defaults, we want to click on that, and we want to search for class settings. I always forget which one it is. Inherited interfaces. Now we want to add, and we want to search for interactable. Simple as that. Compile and save. And actually, one thing here on can interact, we have to set it to true. Otherwise, we cannot. So now it's set to true. Now this item is interactable, even though we haven't created any interaction code yet. But yeah, compile and save and close. Now here on the level, let's add this test interactable thing here. Maybe to here. Yeah, and let's move it upwards like this. Save and let's play. So now when we get close to it, when my actual computer will start to work, when we get close to it, we should see this dot here. When we come here, it will show. When we go off, it will hide. Like this. I actually think the dot is a little bit too big. I will quickly set the size to... So it's divided by 2.5. I think it might look okay. Let's see. Compile and save. Let's see how it looks. Yes, I actually think it looks better. better size. So yeah, as you can see, we have basically created a part of our interaction code already. So yeah, we can see that we now can see the dot when we can interact with something, and when we can't, it will go off. And how it will look with the flashlight like this, it will look pretty good. So yeah, I actually think that was all for this video. If you liked what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one. Bye.